Suddenly, we had a commentator say that somebody has slumped, that it is Okwaraji. We didn't take it serious. Until the end of the match, they told us that the man couldn't make it.
I woke up again to see whether they had started the match again. What I heard is they are very sorry to announce that Samuel Okwaraji, something like that, they announced his death.
They were trying to cover it when they noticed that we were related. Then after a while, the nurse called me and said that I should come to his office, which I did. And I went to the office and she disclosed that to me. It was very, very shocking to say the least.
When he collapsed, we were right there. And when the medical team rushed him off, we followed. Till then, we used to use the term close source, who happens to be a very close friend of ours, came out and shook his head that it was a hopeless case.
It was a very unfortunate incident.
The program is Discourse. We do thank you for joining us. This is the concluding part of our documentary on Sam Sochukuma Okwaraji. You remember Sam Okwaraji? A Nigerian player who slumped and died on 12th August 1989 at the National Stadium, Lagos, while playing in a World Cup qualifier match against Angola. Our crew went to Owerri in Imo State, the hometown and the final resting place of Sam Okwaraji.
When Sam died, the federal government, initially they said that place will be properly prepared, it's going to be like a pilgrimage center where people will come from time to time to look at if somebody is interested, he will come and see what the place looks like. But do you know that up till now, that place is grown bushy? Sam's mother does not stay in the village. She stays in Enugu. And unless when she comes home, that place is, like brushed. And, a poor woman, what can she do? They will just brush the place at least to keep in mind that her son is buried there. But the place is just as bushy as anything. In spite of the promises, they will develop the place as a tourist site. Nothing like that has happened.
Our crew spoke to some elders and community leaders at his hometown.
Sam started his humble beginning in this community. That's Owerri, Autonomous Community of Olu Local Government. He began his primary education this very place. That's the building. And he also started his football career in this place. As you can see, this is an old primary school, and it is the home of footballers. In fact, we have feeder teams coming to this pitch to practice, for the simple fact that Sam was from this place, and that was their way of identifying with Sam Okwaraji. And that's why you come here almost every other weekend. There will be one football activity or the other going on at this place. During his burial, a lot of promises were made, especially to the family, and to immortalize Sam, considering the circumstances of his death, because he died right there in the pitch of play. And we expected that all the promises and even more made to the family, made to immortalize him in any form, would be fulfilled. But after so many years, nothing came from the federal government. So at a point, the community decided in our own little way to find a way of immortalizing him. And that time we decided that this pitch, if you look at it, is not a standard pitch by size and by any standard. So we decided to acquire more land and make it a standard pitch. I will also show you where we started sort of, we call, and we considered that to be at least a humble way of honoring him in his own community. Now, we took that project to the federal government because we considered a lot of things, modernizing this place and the fitness center to be too much for the community to bear. So we wanted some kind of assistance. So we took the plan and this pitch and the building to house the fitness center to Abuja. Unfortunately, at that time, the Minister for Sports and Youth Development was away. Good enough, we were directed and we saw what we might consider the administrative head of the sports ministry, that is Chief Pat Ekej. We interacted with him, the Director General of the National Sports Commission. We interacted with him, and in fact, if I may quote him, he said, we were lucky that we came at that point in time. This was in 2009, that we were lucky, I think in September 2009. He said we were lucky that we came at that point in time because Sam Okwaraji is somebody who should be honored with something more than what we packaged. And told us that as at that time, the federal government was planning to build 6 mini sports development centers, one in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, and assured us that we were lucky, as he said, to come at that point in time so that the project will be included in the 2010 budget, so that our own, in fact, will be the first to be picked up in 2010. And when we left, there was a letter from the sports ministry, authenticating that, putting it in writing that this is what the federal government will do to immortalize Sam. After 2 years, nothing was coming. In fact, in order to tell the federal government that we were serious about that, we had to acquire land for which we considered would be enough, no matter the size of the facility the federal government want to build, and had room for expansion if what we acquired for that project wasn't enough. And we wrote accordingly again to the sports ministry, informing them that we have acquired land for that purpose. Fortunately, the current town union president was then a deputy director in the Federal Ministry of Labor and Productivity. So he was in Abuja. So he was at least making unofficial reminders. He was going to the ministry to remind them, and either by text message or by phone call to the officials in the ministry, reminding them of the facilities they promised us. So I should say there were adequate follow-ups to remind the federal government. In fact, we used some of the people we know unofficially. Every other well-meaning citizen of this community, including Chief Emeka women, all of them, we pressed our unofficial contacts to make sure this project is realized, because it is very dear to us, at least to immortalize Sam Okwaraji, for him to be a light to the youths who should by now understand that there is a lot to gain from sports, But after all that, till now, we've not seen any positive response from the federal government.
That plot of land is there. We acquired that place and invited, in fact, we brought a letter of invitation to the federal government, Federal Ministry of Sports, And what they did was to send somebody to come and inspect the place. Somebody came and saw it. And by his response when he came, he said it was okay. To develop it either as a stadium, a mini stadium, or make it, build something, some sports, let sporting activity be established, build something for sports and we were thinking of that academies, football academy he wanted to establish, Sam wanted to establish. At least his spirit would be happy if that thing is established in his name, in his community.
Discourse will be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
You too can stay safe if you do this.
When buying drugs, look out for the scratch pin on the body of the packet. Scratch out the silver-plated code to reveal a 12-digit code. Type PIN to 38353 to check if it's genuine. You will get an instant message. Example, fake. Don't use or OK original.
Even before you pay.
Text is free on all GSM networks. NAFDAC has put the power in your hands. So, save not just money, but your life.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation. Welcome back to Discuss.
On the issue of how to immortalize Sam Okwaraji, there are divergent views. Take a listen.
I can say that predictably, the National Sports Commission, the Sports Ministry, and even the federal government wouldn't have done much. They will only pay lip service to promises made at the time, because I can't see anything tangible standing in the young man's name. They have not named that national stadium after him. Why not? How many people have died playing for Nigeria on the pitch? He's the first and the only one. The only one. Others might be incapacitated or suffer some debilitation later in life. It's a different scenario from the person who died right there in the pitch playing for you. So I think I'll use this medium to appeal that something tangible, something memorable should be done to immortalize this young man who died in active service. It's not only soldiers that die in active service. This one died in active service, and he died even as a first-line agent in service. He was a footballer playing for the first 11 of the Nigerian national team. He was a prolific goal scorer and midfielder, and had before then been doing his country proud. Some people have red ethnic colorations to this issue. They point out that the parents, the old mother, nobody is doing anything for her. They say because he's an Igbo man. That's what some Igbos interpret it to be. Because they say if it's other people, that some people have been taken care of and rehabilitated, even when their situation is not death. So I don't belong to that school, but I'm saying that these are whispers that have rented the air. And so something has to be done. We must look holistically at the Sam Okwaraji's quagmire, and we must answer it. Certain things have to be done. Yeah.
First and foremost, let me restate that I'm not in a position to make a categorical statement on this issue. Yes. But the point remains that some people tend to think that government has done what they would have been able to do, considering the exigencies of that particular moment. But the point remains that when we talk in terms of immortalization, immortalization simply means where you keep the memory alive so that it serves as a source of inspiration to other upcoming stars. Take, for instance, instituting a tournament that bears an annual Okwaraji tournament wouldn't be a bad idea, of which, even if it's meant for under 20 players, under 16 players, under 18 players, that is played annually. It serves as avenue for the Federation to discover more talents. It serves as avenue to consolidate the gains made by the Federation, and at the same time, keep the flame burning. I remember that during the reign of Ikazobo, there were tournaments meant for junior category. There were tournaments endorsed, but unfortunately, emphasis are no longer being placed at youth or developmental program. What we do now is to celebrate established stars without caring or giving a thought on how they are discovered. Bringing this back would, to a large extent, help the Federation in achieving two clear objectives: discovering players and at the same time keeping the flame alive. Because when you talk in terms of patriotism, you cannot wish that young man away. That is my own belief, yes, based on what he did. There may be some extraneous issues which the government decided to keep low, but the point remains that the motive of the young man is what we're looking at. If you remember vividly, when we used to have effective Youth Sports Federation of Nigeria, that is useful, when the likes of MKO Abiola were alive, and quite a lot of others that were grand patron of that organization. I know quite all right that they have quite a lot of youth tournaments designed to promote the legacy left behind by Okwaraji. I remember vividly that there were tournaments whereby you have the likes of late Ramat Mohammed Cup, you have Sam Okwaraji Cup, and stuff like that. Such things need to be revisited, even if it's from the grassroots, talking about local government level, state level, talk of national level. My greatest regret is that his state government ought to have taken the bull by the horn, setting a precedent that others will emulate. If they have placed it on the front burner, somebody need to take that up. They would have been able to at least get something going or motivated the federal government into doing one or two things. So let us look at the local government. If there's a trophy at the local government level, people qualify from the local government, get to the state level, it becomes an annual event. Obviously, nothing stops Nigeria Football Federation from emulating the precedents set by others. After all, children can confidently teach their parents when it comes to issues that are very current. I'm looking at social media now. Most of our parents can operate them. So there are one or two things we can do to really turn the tide and gain the desired recognition.
They should immortalize that boy. The boy deserves it. He's a hero. He's a patriot. At least by naming that national stadium over his name. At least that one first, before any other thing. Many ways to immortalize somebody.
They need to do it. When the young ones come and they say, this edifice or something that is named after this man, what did he do for Nigeria? And they would tell him this is a young man that died at the age of 24, had so much education, contributed so much, was patriotic, died for Nigeria, and Nigeria, because of all this, recognized him.
As a member of the highest team in Nigeria, then the Green Eagles, something has to be done to immortalize him. Things like post-mortem award of honors, national honors, because he was a national figure. Or naming streets after him. When these are done, his name will have been immortalized and he will be remembered forever. For those living, it is important that they are identified and looked after. They are supported to support their children to go to school or to make both ends. If that is done, young men and women will struggle to make Nigeria great in all sporting fields that we have. And I think that it is necessary we should look into this. Sam Okwaraji served this country well, and he died in the process. And therefore, it is possible, if government cannot name him after any stadium, government can decide to say, we'll build a sports center in his local government and name it after him. It is possible to do that. And I think at that level, my office can even recommend to the Minister of Sports to honor such a Nigerian hero that lost his life serving this country. We can do so. And it is my hope that when it is done, the minister will accept. It's not beyond the competence of the ministry.
Discourse will be back in a moment. Stay tuned. You too can stay safe if you do this.
When buying drugs, look out for the scratch pin on the body of the packet. Scratch out the silver-plated code to reveal a 12-digit code. Type PIN to 38353 to check if it's genuine. You will get an instant message. Example, fake. Don't use or OK original.
Even before you pay.
Text is free on all GSM networks. NAFDAC has put the power in your hands. So, save not just money, but your life.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back to Discuss.
What do you think? How should Nigeria honor Samuel Okwaraji? We'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email, visit our website, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. That's our package. Keep a date with us same time next week. I'm Chinelo Bob Osamo. Thanks for your company.